he decided to give someone money to come, who was a Hutu, to come and collect us from where we were. And as he drove us to Uganda, of course my mom's identification card was, she was a Hutu, and you know, either you would be registered both on your father's card and on your mother's card, so that was automatic that I was a Hutu from my mother's side. So there was a very difficult passing, but what I saw was like, I was small but I was horrified, and that left a mark, a permanent mark on my body, and I still feel it, and I still feel it is something which is, I don't know how to call it, but then wherever I go to Rwanda for my holidays, and I visit the memorial centers, I still feel that thing beating inside me. And I still feel it is really hard to talk about this thing, but people should learn from it.
We want to open up this discussion to everyone, so I don't know how much everyone's aware of, but the UN troops were sent to keep the peace in Rwanda. But the Canadian general who was put in charge knew that the genocide was going to come. He had an insider and he sent this information to Kofi Annan in the UN, who was actually in charge of peacekeeping at the time. And Kofi Annan said, we have to honour our agreement that we are just there to keep the peace. So the message went that they were not allowed to shoot at the militias. And in fact, when the General Dallaire, who was from Quebecois, Canadian, asked for the troops to be increased by 5,000, it was reduced instead from 3,000 to 300. At this point, everybody in Rwanda, all the foreign nationals, left France. Yang's family as well had to escape. Because of this, it meant that the militias, they were called the Interahamwe, basically young rebel men, ignorant, who'd been armed with machetes, some of them guns, were free to wipe out or decimate the Tutsi population. This continued, and it happened until June, when the Rwandan Patriotic Army, front, came in, and they were made up of Tutsi refugees who left about 50 years before, but they were descendants of, they were basically Tutsi Rwandans who'd never lived in Rwanda, and they came in and fought out the militias. The militias then went into neighbouring Zaire at the time, which is now the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and that caused major conflict there. The Tutsis in the Democratic Republic of the Congo were murdered by the militias who'd actually been in Rwanda. So it was a vicious cycle, and basically one question we were asking, even earlier we were talking about it, we said, why did the world do nothing? I guess we all wish we knew. But yeah.
Basically, at that point, especially in 1994, as the Tutsi rebels came to Rwanda, basically they're from Uganda, that's what their base. So as they came to Rwanda, and as the president's plane was crashed, at that point the Hutus was still the military system. They were controlling everything, and they were controlling that kind of communication system, everything that would let the world know what's going on was in control by the Hutus. And what happened, I don't know, but I think even if the world would call someone say they are fine and doing well. And therefore, it is very hard for someone who is not seeing what's happening. Because I can tell you just in 1 month, in 100 days, that was from 7 April to July, a lot happened. And you can imagine just 800,000 people. That was the city. Because the figures the international community has got just from the city, because that's the only place they could easily access. But how about these other faraway places? So people saw it and expressed it. The people who lost their children, the mothers who lost their children, the children who lost their fathers and their relatives, are the pools of blood that were just all over every place, not just moving all over bodies, would definitely cause someone to come and intervene. But then the system, the communication system was not effective. But my question remains, how about the French people who are there at that moment, who just, people who had to leave at that moment, and they could not even let the world know what's happening. That remains a question mark. I think it will be very hard for someone to give a satisfactory answer to that question.
Okay, we were wondering if any of you had any comments or questions.
However, the national groups, I said Germans, and someone foreign groups, and I was considering the fact that many times nationals exist and they reap the benefits, but as soon as problems arise, they find that they just drift up. And that's a worrying issue, especially in this day and age. That thing that took place, I think it can take place anywhere, anytime. And now we have to just ensure that we are all aware of this. We need to ensure that we are all aware of this. And that thing that took place, something that even in most African countries, that's what I realized. But when Africa we know is a very rich place, so many benefits, and as soon as foreigners they follow these benefits, and problems arise, they just leave. And it's just a sad case. And I'm really saddened by everything that took place in Rwanda. When was it from? 94 until
It was 3 months, but the killing continued afterwards, and the killing had started in '59, arguably, when the Hutus first became in power and the Belgians left, and there was a small genocide there. That's why there were so many Rwandan refugees in the Scandinavian countries.
Yeah, basically what happened in 1959 is that when this new king, it was still under the kingdom's organized system of government. When this new king came, there was a Tutsi as well. But he had that feeling that it was too much on Hutus being subjected to give whatever they produce, and they are not recognized at all. So he ordered that the system should change and people should be given equal land, equal amount of cows and everything. And the Tutsis were particularly very angry, and what they did is that they had to assassinate him. So when he was assassinated, and the Belgian people saw it was too much on them. And after that, the Belgian people supported the Hutus at that point. And even the Roman Catholic Church, who are made in support of the Tutsis, because those are the people whom they found who are elite and who are able to control everything. So when they saw what they had done in response to sharing and making people equal, they just turned and also started supporting the Hutus. And what happened, the Hutus, they had that kind of too much thing inside them of being oppressed and being subjected to every bad thing you can imagine. So in response and in kind of revenge, they had to do that. It was genocide as well, because it was mainly targeted to one race. And it was not recognized as 1994, because 1994 was moving and it was too much. So 1959 was the beginning. So it kept on building. Even people who were born were saying,